Greetings, and welcome to A Year of Movies, a Planet Geek production. For this project, we are using the Ivan Walters reference book of 365 films to watch on the day they happened. Each day, we watch a movie associated with the date we are watching it on. And as it is August 5th, we are going to be watching Braveheart from 1995, directed and starring Mel Gibson. So this is a movie that I did see upon its early release, first release. I believe it was even opening weekend when me and a bunch of my friends at the time went to go see it. And it was quite the interesting watch to see on the big screen. Not really knowing much about the kind of story that we were going to be watching, except for what we saw from commercials and trailers at the time. However, while I have seen it quite a few times, it actually has been quite a while since I have actually seen this movie. And that being said, like I already mentioned, not only does this movie star Mel Gibson, but it also stars Patrick McGoohan, Angus McFadden, Brendan Gleeson, Sophie McCure, Peter Hanley, and Ian Bannon. William Wallace, played by Mel Gibson, is a medieval Scottish patriot who is spurred into revolt against the English when the love of his life is slaughtered, leading his army into battle that becomes a war. His advance into England threatened King Edward I, played by Patrick McGoohan, his throne before he is captured and executed, but not before becoming a symbol for a free Scotland. So this movie, at the original time that it was released, was just a fascinating thing to be witnessing. It was really cool to be in a theater for more than like the standard film that, at least from my point of view at the time. This being a 3-hour-ish movie was just something that I hadn't experienced before prior to that. However, it was quite entertaining. Fantastic cast. The costuming looks great. The cinematography is fantastic in this movie. Mel Gibson does a great job of both directing and starring in this film as the lead on both fronts of that situation. We get a spectacular performance from all parties involved in this movie. And one of the greatest things about this movie is our battle sequences. I had forgotten just how graphic and gory some of the effects that they use to show like kills and whatnot throughout the movie, but it's just so spectacularly done, especially for 1995 as well, reflecting on the movie like almost like 30 years later. But it is so well done. Now, one of the most troubling things is, of course, when we originally saw this movie, was a lot of harm comes to the horses within the realms of the movie itself. Now, one of the great things about the movie when it came out at the time is there was all those entertainment programs that would always show you behind the scenes stuff, and they showed a lot of how a lot of these stunts were done for Braveheart and how they showed the stand-in fake horses and how realistic they actually looked, and you actually forget about it when you're actually watching the movie. There are a lot of stunt horses that do falls over and rolls and whatnot and get up and whatnot, but they show a lot of the actual like fakeness of the horses that get, skewered by wooden spears or leap off of a giant a hill height into a water source and whatnot, which definitely did not really happen. But again, just a spectacular movie to watch and witness. And again, watching it again after so long is just like, yeah, this is what movies were back in the day, and it still stands up to some of the stuff we get recently. Not to mention the fact that the lack of computer assisted effects as well also helps. This movie being practically practical for every single thing you see. Of course, this movie is more fantastical storytelling than history accuracy, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Well, it has the idea of the storyline that the actual reality of the storyline. It's still more of an entertainment. It's more of a popcorn movie, which is basically what it was made for, to bring the idea of the story to the general public. So after several confrontations between Wallace's people and the English and all that sort of thing, the English actually finally capture him on August 5th, 1305, and he ends up having to pay the price for his wrongdoings against the king. And that actually happens at about 2 hours and 27 minutes into this 2 hour and a 57-minute movie. And when it came to the Academy Awards for that particular season, it actually ended up winning for Best Cinematography, Best Director, Best Makeup, Best Picture, and Best Sound Editing, as well as getting nominations for Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing, Best Original Dramatic Score, Best Sound, and Best Original Screenplay. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this particular episode and look off into the future to see what we're going to watch for tomorrow for the 6th of August, and that is going to be Above and Beyond from 1952. So until next time, go see a movie.